So we are carrying on with the working for the lost. Now, yeah, obviously Cortland has his eyes on getting revenge and all that stuff. That's not technically why you all are here. In fact, yeah, we don't really. I mean, you could assume that much. They're they're pretty hardcore folks over at the Lost here. But so you could assume that maybe he wants to kill the people who killed his whole gang. Um, but you all are mostly here to help them rebuild. Probably in preparation to do that other thing. But the goal of the mission right now is not specifically to...
Revenge just yet.
Yeah.
Although if we can get some in there, no harm done. If we could redistribute some wealth from the Hive into the Lost, no foul, no play.
Yeah. Now, what we talked about with Artis, though, so Artis has some faction affiliations which are interesting.
Mm.
Why don't you tell them about your faction affiliations, Artis?
Okay, well, I'm in a currently -2 standing with the Crows because I've had someone tells them I'm not good because of an accident. I've detailed the story in my biography, but basically, some lurker lost his hand because of bad planning, and he decided to give me a bad rep with the Crows as a revenge, and I'm guessing he belongs to the Crows, which is why it's -2 and not just a -1. Okay. For the other factions, do they apply here?
Yeah, sure, yeah, go over them.
Okay. Well, my character is well appreciated with the Foundation because he works for them by stealing deeds in the house we houses we go to. So the what to say? His job is to alter the deeds for the Foundation's benefits, because everybody has a deed if they have a house, and the Foundation wants to, well, kind of controls the whole city, if I understand correctly. Not directly, but they own the city and have to. They are the go-to if you want to have your house repaired. So you kind of have to deal with them and prove that you own the house and your belongings. So by altering the deeds, you can pretty much screw people and make the Foundation gain money. Okay. My advice is to go to the balls and every noble gathering as much as I can. And to do that, I get help from the servants, which let me enter despite knowing that I'm using a false identity. And sadly, at some point, I got found out by the city council. So there's some time look for me in some gatherings, and I have a -1 reputation.
So your advice is go to all these fancy shindigs.
Exactly. Despite the fact that he's...
Is it for social standing, or just do you have a good time, or?
It reminds my character of his childhood and early adulthood.
So it's like more of an obligation than like a...
Not really.
No.
It's what he does to relax, to forget the fact that
Okay.
his life is shit at the moment, and
I was just trying to figure out like what because different, like, you can do vices for different reasons. Just trying to figure it out. Yeah.
Okay.
Just to relax, I think it makes sense. That's what parties are for, anyway.
Yeah, so all that's pretty interesting. So I think that the most likely the reason that Artis is here is that is that -2 take on the crows. So the crows are on the outs, pretty big, with the Hive, with the Red Sashes, with the Lost. The crows are not doing well. They've been hit a lot, but just a negative status with the crows is not quite enough, I think, for the postman to show up. So what I wonder, Artis, is which one of your faction affiliations brought you here? I mean, I can tell you the other enemies of the Lost are the workhouse foreman. That's in Dunslow. There are workhouses and stuff, so they're always trying to and they're savage places. Like, they're brutal to work in.
Oliver Twist style, you know.
Yeah, and they're trying to push back against the foremen who have all control, and they beat people, they do whatever. And the Lost are trying to be champions of the people.
Okay.
Then of course the Bluecoats, because they're murderous guys, but lots of people who are murderous guys aren't enemies with the Bluecoats. It's mostly that they push up against those established structures, right? The foreman and the industry. Bluecoats are a part of the city, right? The institutions, so they're supposed to protect that shit. And then their other enemy is the Billhooks. The Billhooks are just another savage murder gang. I think they go after the Billhooks because the Billhooks are criminals.
Oh, I'm not friends with the Billhooks. Oh, I'm not friends with them either. So
Yeah.
a lot.
Now, until recently, their allies were workhouse laborers, right, against the foreman. Citizens of Coleridge and Dunslow, the people do like them. They are kind of seen as champions. But their other allies were the Crows. This is not the case anymore. They are not friendly with the Crows. They are, in fact, unfriendly with the Crows. To an extreme.
Almost at war, you might say.
I don't think they're at war. No, the Crows have been beaten up so bad at this point that they're not really ready to go to war with anybody.
And if they do go to war with the Lost, they go to war with 2 people right now. So
yeah, and of course they are enemies with the Hive. But yeah, Artis, I want to know, and it could be another negative faction that brought you here, but why? What of your faction affiliations has brought you to help the Lost get back on their feet? Right.
That's a tough question. Because I really don't see why one of these would.
And if you're smart, the Lost is probably not a good bet. Anything that we're working for is probably not a good idea, to be honest.
I mean, part of it could be the servants, right? Maybe the servants are hey, we've got an opportunity for you, right? Now, the servants aren't really laborers, right? But they are still working class people. They're just not really the working poor, I guess, like laborers are. So it could be that. It could be the Foundation. Now, a lot of the times, the Foundation could be saying, well, we've got these people who are down on the outs. Maybe if we help them get on their feet, we get a lot of influence with them, right?
Sure. Okay.
Now, it could go another way. Because you have a -1 with the Council. Maybe you want to try and use the Lost to hurt somebody in the Council, right? These are street vigilantes, and you could be hey, you want to take care of a bad guy? I know a bad guy.
Just point them and let loose when they're up on their feet. You've got your own squad of,
Yeah.
True.
I mean, it's up to you to tell me what you want to know about that. How you came into this.
Could just be money.
The servants asking for a favor in exchange for providing device. Would it fit?
Okay. So the servants want you to work to build up the lost. Are they? What's the motivation for this? Is like, do the servants have some connection to like the citizens of Dunslow or something, or do the servants have hopes for the lost to help them take care of something like?
From my understanding, the Lost kind of kills blindly when it can get to its target. So perhaps the servants want to ensure that they have a better relationship with the Lost to avoid losing members when the Lost is on a hit.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, actually. Yeah, securing an alliance themselves. Okay, I'm going to add a clock to the Lost then. Well, that'd actually probably be a clock with the servants. Let's see. I'm going to add that. We need... Oops, wrong folder. Yeah, that does make sense. I mean, he mentioned... I think Samuel mentioned in a different game where the Lost killed everybody in a coffee shop, and the servants are like, "Hey, when they come to kill somebody, they kill us too. So maybe we could do a thing where they don't kill us too."
Give them some class.
Okay, so here's the only question I have for Artis then, before we get started. We didn't fill in your friends. We filled in your good friend, your close friend, and your enemy, your rival. But you have room for more that aren't necessarily a close friend or a rival. They're just people you know. What I want is a name for the servants are, you know, a group or a guild or something, and one of them has come to you, right? Who's the guy who sent you to the Lost?
Quite a question because you ask for a name.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll go at the...
MSCNameGenerator.com.
No, I'll just use the book. I think there was a list of names. Some
Oh, yeah.
names.
Here, and I've got a handout in Roll20 for you if you want to use that.
Perfect. A load use. Okay, let's go with load use.
Okay. Claudius. Okay. I'm gonna call Laudius leader of the servants. I'll figure out what's going on with Laudius. All right. So how do we want to start off for you guys? The HQ for the Lost is, it used to be an abandoned rail car in Coleridge. It was super cool. They lived in an abandoned rail station, and that was all great. Then that got blowed up. They don't live there anymore. Now they're in Dunslow, and they're basically in a hovel. They're basically squatting because it's just two people. It really is just two people at this point. But they're planning on doing work in Coleridge or in Dunslow and Coleridge. Both Coleridge has industry there too. To get back on their feet, and you know that's what you're here for. So, how do you guys want to meet up and start planning your first score?
Well, in their hovel, I suppose. They haven't got anywhere else. I'll get that rail car back. That sounds sick. So I'll make that priority.
Yeah, I think Bandy signed up Bandy first signed up for this. He didn't quite get the rule operating in a hovel in Dunslough. So I think getting a new HQ is going to be first.
Something that
up.
speaks to the people.
Yeah, so we get you all in there. I don't know, is Bingo comfortable here? Is he just like lounging?
Oh yeah, yeah, he's lounging.
Yeah, you've all
It's
been
nice to be out of the red sashes for a little while.
You've all been given a time to meet here, and we'll say that Bingo and Bandy are here first. Bandy looks uncomfortable with the place.
Yeah.
I mean, it's worn and abandoned. It's basically an abandoned building, and they're just squatting in a room or something. But it's a pretty large room, and it's actually not like covered in trash. It looks like it's covered in trash, but upon closer inspection,
That's the wallpaper.
upon closer inspection, it is actually kind of organized in here, right? Cortland and Casket both, I mean, they were soldiers of some kind. And they're savvy enough to make sure the place doesn't look lived in to like a passing glance, but they know how to keep things somewhat organized. But yeah, it is kind of dirty and musty and all that. And I think that's Artis. You have the meeting time in place too, so you come in. Do you look sort of disgusted or overwhelmed by the terror?
Yeah, completely. I find the place distasteful. My character is used to rich gatherings and very wealthy furniture. So when you meet in a place that looks like not exactly garbage, but close enough, it's kind of disappointed, especially if you heard that it was the headquarters of the faction.
Yeah. Well, so Cortland and Casket, they aren't here right now. They gave you a meeting time, and Bandy and Bingo are hanging out when, Artis comes wandering into this place looking horrified.
What does he look like? What do you look like? Sorry, Artis.
Like some noble. That's kind of the.
So you look out of place. I might add.
Yes, completely.
So I guess as you walk in, I kind of look at Bandy and I raise an eyebrow. I kind of stand up and stretch my, like arms and out. And I just say, I kind of walk over and I get in your face and I say, I think you might be in the wrong place, friend. You probably want White Crown or Six Towers or not here, unless you want to get stabbed.
Always an option. Okay, so what do you guys look like?
Oh,
You do have
Please see.
features? Okay.
He doesn't look like that. He's got the helmet off and the armor off. He's just more chill.
Bandy looks quite like a picture, but he's kind of become a bit more Northern Akarosi. He's got normal kind of thicker trousers on. He still keeps the hat, but doublet. He's more. He wears a thick jacket over it as well, so it kind of looks a bit out of place. And he's just watching from the background, just kind of like giving him a weird look and trying to kind of read you. Notices that you're wearing noble attire, and he's just kind of monitoring the situation at the minute.
Okay, so, well, I would respond that yes, I'm likely not at the right place, but I'm looking for two people, and to have been sent here to meet with the lost.
Well, the eyebrow that was raised further raises on Bingo's face, and he says, "You're looking for the lost? You don't." He kind of looks you up and down. He says, "You don't quite strike me as the street tough type."
That might exactly be the point.
Well, I look back at Bandy and I say, well, I suppose me and Bandy don't fit the ideal either. Oh, come on in. I can make some tea. They have
And
tea.
you?
Perhaps you could fry up a rat as well. There seems to be more than enough for running around.
Yeah, I look back and say, yeah, I grill up a mean rat if you're interested.
What?
No, it's
So is that a no to the rat? or-
Ruby. It was a joke.
I ate on my way here. I don't think I need a rat.
He chuckles and he says, well, suit yourself. He kind of sits back down where he was lounging and just kind of lies back and closes his eyes and just, starts humming.
So, yeah, you guys are lounging about for a while, and I guess, yeah, eventually Casket and Cortland do show up. They're a little bit late, which as far as you know is unusual for them. They've been pretty prompt and on schedule, demanding a schedule pretty much all the time. But they come wandering in, and I think that Casket is wearing like a bandage or something around her upper arm, and you can see blood on it. It looks sort of a fresh wound. And she's got some like soot or something on her face, some dirt. And Cortland comes in, his rifle slung over his shoulder. And he's got like blood spray, just little specks of blood on his face. And yeah, they give you an eye. I don't think Cortland says anything. He sees you all. He doesn't really notice. He doesn't really acknowledge any of you. He goes immediately off to a side area where you see like a bedroll, and he pulls out like a bag and unties it, and opens it up, and he takes out a stone, and he pulls out a knife and he starts scratching on this stone over there. And as he's doing that, as he's scratching, you see another it's like a pyramid of stones that are stacked really neat and nice next to his bed.
Jesus.
That, yeah, as he's scratching on it, eventually, when he's done, he adds it to the pyramid. But
Those are his kills.
Casket is the one who comes up to the three of you.
Well, I look at her and I say, I assume they were more unlucky than you were, Casket. And I look at her arm, kind of,
She looks, she says, yeah, I told you not to cook rats in here.
I assume the rat thing was a joke just to scare the noble. But having Bingo, he just kind of looks away and he just, this rat stick he just hides behind him. He's like, a grill! Just a grill! If you made us wait so long, I need something to eat. If you're going to be out murdering people without telling us, I mean, what's a man to eat?
It's not like it's gonna change the smell anyway.
Yeah, she says, it's fine, we just don't want to have fires. Draws attention.
I say, oh, but the pyramid of death stones, that's nothing.
And the long military rifle and swords and bleeding everywhere. That's... you could have waited for us or brought us along wherever you were, but it's fine. Not my problem. Yet.
She says, anyway, we should get down to business, I guess. And she grabs like a box and drags it over and sets on it. She pulls out like a knife on her belt, and takes out a dirty rag from her pocket and starts like cleaning the knife and stuff. It's definitely got blood all over it. She says, "So, well, we're glad you all made it anyway. It's I guess it's time to start things. Clearly, we're working on things. I don't like to keep a tight leash on people, so. But I'd like to at least know what you're thinking. Have you all been discussing any ideas, plans?
I guess we kind of look at each other guiltily. I look back and I say, we were kind of hoping that the Lost would want to know what they want to do. I mean, we're just here to get paid and roll some heads and whatever these two want to do. But I was just thinking, hit the Hive as hard and as violently as possible. Hopefully they don't know it's us, but if they do, they'll get sloppy.
She looks at you with a raised eyebrow. She says, "Hit the Hive? Just the three of you?"
Well, I mean, if he wants to come with, I was thinking me and Bandy can do it, but I mean,
Well, we not go for the brawl approach if we are just us three, but perhaps we could hit one of their outposts or one of their storage house, just to start with, not go right at them.
oh yeah, I mean, redistribute some wealth and maybe we can upgrade from the shithole of a hovel back into a nice rail car or something that people can rally behind. I mean, if you want people to join your casket, I mean, a hovel is not an inspiring place. The Red Sashes, they have the Sword School. The Lamp Blacks have a creepy mobster factory. We need to be living out of a statue or something cool, something that can inspire hope in the people. If you want people to join you and make your gang more than just the two of you and the three people you've hired, we're going to need to get some money in here. And the Hive have money.
He is correct.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, an upgrade from this place to anywhere, I think.
No offense, it's not a bad place. I mean, they're very tidy, they're very organized. Let's take back the tidy thing. But a gang needs something more.
She says, that's fine. Nothing too flashy, though.
No, I get it. Subtle and the inspiring. This is coming from the man who owns a tiger, but
right, there's a tiger in the room.
I didn't mention that. He's asleep.
She says,
that's way better.
She says, well, we're making our moves here in Dunslow, so if you find someplace here, I think that'd be best. Coleridge is kind of rough, especially with Baggio concentrating everything there. Thanks to you, I guess. So that could work. If you guys have your eyes on anything yet.
I say, well, I was hoping you might have some information on the Hive, but I think right now we can take anything we can get. I mean, you guys aren't friendly with the workhouse foreman. We could try and hit them, get some of their wolf and give it back to the people. They'll at least give you some standing with the people, maybe get you some recruits. Otherwise, find out somewhere these Lost are operating, not Lost, the Hive operating, and hit them hard. That, or move on what the Crows have left. But that might not be a good idea right now, considering the state we're in.
She says, well, I don't think we're ready to go back into Crow's Foot just yet. With the red sashes and everybody else. And I don't
Yeah,
want, I don't want you to put you at cross allegiances if we don't have to.
I look Casket in the eyes and I say, ma'am, just to be clear, when you hire me, everything else I've done goes out the window. Whoever pays me has me. That's the end of it. Now, I like the red sashes. A bit out of type for me, my people, don't get me wrong. But if you pay me to kill them, I will kill them.
Well, she puts eyes right through your, right through you, Bandy, and she says, "Is that the same for you?"
I kind of silently stare back for a couple of seconds, and then just say, "I will not harm them, but if they get in the way, then I will do everything in my power to resolve a peaceful solution for you. That is what your money buys. It is better than killing them, believe me."
I roll my eyes, but you can't see that.
You've got your mask back on?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess he does. He every so often he just puts the mask to his face, and that's when he
screams into it
just
silently.
rolls his eyes. Good God! And then takes it off.
No, I admire Bandy. He's cool.
Clearly great people to have fighting against rich merchant.
Well, you say all that about like a peaceful solution and stuff, and her eyes just sort of like instantly,
Glaze.
for a moment, dart over to Cortland, and she says, "Well, let's stay out of Crow's Foot for a while then."
Dude, Colin's my kind of guy.
Death stones.
She says, "Okay, well, take some time, scout something out. If you want to go after Foreman, that's fine. You may start a fight with somebody, but that's going to happen. There are a couple of warehouses in the labor camps, or corrupt landlords in the ghetto, also. Steer clear of the mire. Iron Hook isn't something we're trying to get involved with. Not yet. Sound good?"
Sure.
We'll look into something.
So she stands up and she says, "Okay. I'm gonna need a drink. So, you all do you, and don't cook any more rats." And you see she goes off to the side. She goes over to her own bedroll and pulls away like a tarp, and it's kind of the exact same setup. There's a little pyramid of stones. Hers is
What the fuck is wrong with these people?
and
I gotta get in on this pyramid thing.
hers is hers is comparable to Cortland's, actually. They look like they have killed a lot of people. And she takes out a stone and she starts scratching into it. Same thing. Except she's got a bottle of booze and she doesn't look quite as intense about it as Cortland is. Yeah, anyway. It's a little weird.
I look at Bandy and I say, if they ever start carving little stones like that, just shoot me. If I can't remember who I've killed, then I'm not doing my job right. But anyway, I kind of sit down and I say, do we have like a map or anything? I want to do that classic heist thing where I put down the map and I scroll out. I'm like, okay, we can hit here, here, and here.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, I mean in game, I know we have the map on the thing. I want to just like get the candle out and put the map down on the box and start marking out some locations. So I look at artists. I say, actually, what is your name, noble?
Okay, so since we're with the thief, I guess I can give my true identity, which would be Artis Clemenster. So I will say my name is Artis Clemenster, and for now,
I look at you. I'm like, I mean your working name.
oh, well, I'm kind of used to presenting myself. I've got a nickname which, is not a great one, but they call me the Postman.
Bossman works fine. I just in the middle of a job when we're killing people, I don't want to be shouting out, "Hey, artist." I don't want to implicate you. Understand? Professional courtesy. Well, I'm Bingo, and this is Bandy.
Okay.
Well, let me think.
It's
No,
Is that
I
not
think,
Bandy?
No, you're right. I think, well, we'll just shorthand it. We'll say that, yeah, Bandy and Bingo, when he says the postman, you fucking heard of the postman.
Oh, I thought you said Bossman. Oh,
No.
yeah, Postman. Oh, that's cool.
It's, as much as you say, like, well, I don't want to be yelling out Artist Clemenster, it kind of hits you when you say that. It's like, you don't want to yell out the postman either, because the postman has a reputation for doing what the postman does, which is defraud you and steal your home so that the foundation can take over. And if somebody's like, the postman's coming, people get their shit in order.
So I've heard of this. So I'm just like, the fuck is he doing with the Lost? So I kind of look at him and I say, wait, Postman? The guy who... What? Doesn't seem like your kind of line of work, but I guess...
I was asked for a favor, so I'm here to deliver.
Must be a good favor.
Indeed. Have I heard of them then? Since they gave us the nickname. I'm not sure that Bandy is the nickname though, is it?
Bandy Boy, I think is the
Oh,
nickname.
okay.
Right?
Bandy.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a full nickname. But
We just...
yeah, Bandino. Albertonibus.
You've heard of the Red Sashes, and Bandy, he looks like a Red Sash person. I think, Bandy, do you wear your sash and everything when you go around?
Not on the job anymore.
Okay.
I used to, but
Yeah.
not really working for them anymore.
Well, artists, yeah, you've definitely heard of the Red Sashes, and Bandy looks the sort to work with the Red Sashes. His sword and stuff, like, is well kept and stuff, and the Red Sashes are all about sword fighting. I don't know that you know about Bingo. I don't know that you've ever heard of Bingo.
He's trying to do his job so hard. He just wants to get his name out there, and no one's heard of him.
Yeah, you've heard of maniacs like this guy. He looks like he could kill somebody with his bare hands, or I don't know, maybe a meat cleaver tied to a chain or something ridiculous. But and they were talking about, like, we shouldn't go back there because of what you did to the Lamp Blacks. I think you have heard about that. That the Lamp Blacks had a base in Crowsfoot that was exploded.
Along with everything nearby.
Like, a whole building was blown to pieces with, like, a military strength bomb. Like a big cannon shell from a battleship or something was blown up inside this house, and it just obliterated the place.
Well, that gave work to the foundation then. That's good.
Yeah. So if that's what you've heard about with these two, is that exploit, at least. If you're able to put some faces to that. Yeah. And that was a big deal. That was, like, incredibly violent and destructive. A lot of people went to jail. But apparently not the two people who did it.
Okay. So.
Wait, did Lawborg go to jail for that? Like Echo?
No, nobody's gone to jail for it yet.
Okay. So everyone from every other crew has gone to jail except us. We're the terrorists, oh god.
Well, two people are in jail right now. Dan is in jail for the grinders. I don't remember who Slab's in jail for.
I think he's in jail for the Hive, actually.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was introductions. You were just asking artists his name, so you've definitely heard of him. But now you know he has a skill set, right? He's good at dealing with people.
Well, so, yeah. Maybe this time we don't get a new headquarters by planting a bomb. But, I mean, when I look at this place, perhaps it wouldn't be so different from here, but there are other ways to get real estate.
Oh, you heard about the bomb? Well, I look at Bandy and I just give him this like the smile. I say, well, we had nothing to do with that. But if we need to get a new place, don't worry. Just a bit of I just pull out my cleaver and I'm like, just one of these should do fine.
I see.
I guess I need to disconnect it from the chain.
And don't worry, I do fires too.
So, okay, well, let's do this then. As you guys have the map out and you're discussing all of your skill sets and what you're able to do, let's also work this into talking about setting up a plan.
Oh, by the way, I've got to go at 7 for like 5 minutes or so, if that's cool. So if that's all right, if you guys take a break, then.
Do you want to do that now?
Just in 5 minutes.
Okay,
like, we can figure that out. Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk plan for 5 minutes and see what options at least we come with.
I mean, I'll be back. I mean, just say I'll be gone for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So do we decide who we wanted to hit? Sorry, Justin.
No, that's all I was going to talk about. Yeah.
I mean, we've got a couple options. We've got I think it's not the bill hooks. They're an enemy of the lost. Do they operate nearby, Justin?
Let me see what information I have on the bill hooks, actually.
And just in terms of factions that we are kind of okay to hit without pissing them off, got bill hooks. We have the Hive. Probably just the options. I mean, I'm not saying we do it, but we've got the Hive, the bill hooks, the crows, the foreman of those workhouses, and the lampblacks, who are quite close by. So we could just fuck up the lampblacks. I mean, they lost one of their cohorts, so they're going to be a little bit weaker. Still have the other one. They're like their main kind of cohort, but yeah. So those are their options. Then we just need to think about who is going to have money or a place that we can take. I think if we want to sort of get like a base for the for the lost, I don't think we should just buy it. I think we should take it. I think that's going to speak more for the lost. I mean, if you hear about a gang who takes their home turf, it sounds better cooler than they just bought it on eBay or whatever.
It's true.
If we go in and just wipe the Hive out of somewhere and then just set up shop, that's gonna,
Yeah, but I'm not sure about pissing off the Hive yet.
How about we go after the foreman then? Because they're a decent target. And like we could maybe just take one of the factories and set up shop in the top of the factory where the foreman live. Just like wipe them out, set up shop there, and then we've got like a legion of people who love us underneath us if anyone comes in, and we're gonna get told if the blue coats are coming, if the inspectors are coming, if any gangs are coming. We've got like 100 workers downstairs who will tell us before we even get close.
Yeah, good work.
I mean, like, what's cooler than the lost living in a literal factory of people who are willing to like serve them? Inspiring, but also
gives her sorts of revenue.
Yeah.
Sure.
Which may be good because considering what they live in currently, I'm guessing they're short on the money.
So we go in, we just wipe out the foreman, set up a stooge who's not a piece of shit, and we just say to the workers, this guy's literally here just for the job title, you guys are in charge now. Huge boost.
Put your chains.
Yeah, so there are a lot of workhouses and work camps, and they sort of stick together, right? They kind of look out for each other, but they aren't all owned by the same person. Various nobles or merchants or something would own different manufactories of some kind. Now, they aren't really friends, right? A lot of them are actually competing against each other for things. But one thing they do try to stick together on is maintaining their position, right? They don't want unions or guilds or things to be formed because then they lose as much power as they had. So taking out a workhouse foreman for one of these workhouses and setting up better controls would mean a little more than that, right? It would mean also dealing with a noble who owns that workhouse. But it's not impossible. It would just lead into something else also.
Oh, well, I mean, you got to break some eggs to make some omelets. So, I say, and just thinking of plans. This is just me spitballing. And this is probably what Bingo would somehow come up with in a stupid way. But if we get all the workmen together in some sort of meeting, if we set up a social connection and set up a meeting, maybe using your noble connections, artists.
Sure.
We get all the workmen in one room discussing like, oh, they've got a new unit coming together. How can we crush this by being pieces of shit? We plant some sort of explosive device in the room. That, or we just murder them all over there, and we just come in and just like Mike Ito them. No, Mustafa. Yeah, Mustafa them. That's what he's thinking. Just like get them all together and murder them because that's how it's the easy solution. That, or we just assault one of these workhouses, storm into the guy's office, string the workman up and just say, all right, you're free. And if they want to come in and stop us, then they're going to have to send a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be something like that. Or you could take it over and then follow up with a plan from, say, artist to then go to the noble's house and be like, look, we took over your workshop and we could cut your head off and use it as a basketball right now. Or you could just
send in the workman's head and be like, hey, we own this now, unless you want your head to be sent to someone else.
Yeah. So there's a few ways you could try and take over some stuff like that. Absolutely.
But that's just very point blank. Exactly. He's reckless. So that's what he wants to do. You guys can be smart and actually think of something good.
No, but removing all the foremen at the same time is very good because then the headquarters would not have any concurrents. Well, no, any rivals that would try to take back what was theirs.
Yeah, well, while they're reeling and installing new people, we can take a house take one of the factories easily, and they won't be able to react until we have a firm grip. I mean, they're going to replace who we kill, but we want them reeling while we attack. That's what I'm thinking.
Weird.
Sure.
Right.
Anyway, I've got to go for 5 minutes if that's all right. It's 7.
Yeah. Let's take a break. We're going to take 5 minutes, and we will be back and start setting up this plan. That sounds good.
Okay. See you guys in 5.
Right. Yep. I'll get some tea.